from homeless to home ownership. Veterans should not have to suffer because agents don't know how to connect a homeless veteran with real estate, but it goes together. A homeless veteran with resources can rent an apartment, depending on the resource they have. It could be a HUD VASH voucher. It could be any SSVF form of resource. It could be anything. It could be a pre-approval. When I tell people veterans have resources to move, all it takes is for a realtor to know how to use those resources. Oh, hey everybody, and welcome back. This is Evette Jones Swanson, realtor and the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, realtor and consultant. And I have to put realtor in there because a lot of people didn't know I was a realtor. So that's now you know. I house homeless veterans as a realtor, and I consult business owners to do the same. I work with realtors to teach them via a class that I have, and I have a lot of publications, so you can see all of my publications on my website or on Amazon. I've got more than just that. So, and that's how I communicate, through publications now. It's a lot of information that I have from the past 22 years of housing homeless veterans that I can't talk enough. So a lot of things are about to start happening where this information will be available to everyone nationwide, where you just don't have to come and see my talking head. You can just click a button and watch, whatever training you want to watch whenever you want to watch it. Welcome to the end of my day. I call it my 15-minute boots on the ground end of day roundup, but it has been going longer than 15 minutes simply because there's so much information in one day. We have homeless veterans nationwide. And let me tell you something. Did I say I'm a realtor? I've been housing homeless veterans as a realtor and getting paid almost every single transaction. Maybe one or two didn't, but it's a transaction that I create and get paid to do it as a realtor. That's my commission. When I say veterans have resources, they may not have money now. They may not have money to do your 3 times the amount of rent. No, they won't have that. But the resources that they do have is enough to pay the rent, to get them off the street. And I tell people this too. And you can probably answer this question in the comments. When you move a person, whether that's a veteran or not, where do you move them to? Because I can't hear anybody, I'm just going to assume that that a person, when they're moved somewhere, they're moving into, I got my houses back here, they're moving into a house. They're moving into a condo. They're moving into an apartment. They're moving into a place where people actually live. And here's question number 2. Who pays for them to be there if they don't have any money? Who pays for this homeless veteran to move to somebody's real estate? Because remember, that's somebody's property. That's somebody's real estate. They've got a PIN number. They have taxes. They have water bill. They've got gas bill, light bill, insurance, maybe even a mortgage. They have an upkeep. They've got all these bills. So the veteran is going to move there. And this is real basic. The veteran moves there, right? And somebody has to pay the rent to that investor or to that landlord, because they may not consider themselves, I'm not an investor. I just have an extra apartment in my 2-flat. Well, that makes you an investor, but say what you want to say. It doesn't matter. They're moving into somebody's vacant unit. In this case, they're moving into somebody's vacant unit with a HUD-VASH voucher. That's the Section 8 voucher for veterans, just for veterans and their families. And that Section 8 voucher, that HUD-VASH voucher, pays the rent. So now you as the investor, you as the property owner, I just got one apartment, I don't consider myself an investor, whatever. Your rent is being paid to you, to your bank account, whatever you have set up, directly every single month. So now this veteran gets to live there and their rent is being paid. That's just that simple. And if a realtor procured that transaction, then that realtor will get a commission. But you know, I teach all that in my book. I teach all that in this book right here, A Realtor's Blueprint. The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. So you can go on Amazon or go in my bio and buy this book. So now, as a realtor, I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for 26 years. I've been housing homeless veterans for 22 consecutive years as a realtor. And as a realtor, housing homeless veterans. And everybody knows, you got a homeless veteran, call Evette. You got a homeless veteran, tell them to go see Evette. You got a homeless veteran, go to Evette. I'm known for just housing homeless veterans, from homeless through their transition to a rental to home ownership, and some of them became investors, housing other homeless veterans. And I help them with that too. So going back, as a realtor, this is how I have been getting paid. One of my forms of income was as a realtor housing homeless veterans. Go get the book so you can learn too. And then the class will be out and we can go through it that way. So that's all it is. That's just one way that homeless veterans can use the funding in the community to get housed. I was on my computer today and I got an email, another email from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. They announced Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday? They announced yesterday it will distribute $84 million in grants to 176 organizations tackling veterans' homelessness across the United States. Now, I always talk to you all about the $818 million that is in 235 organizations. That's $818 million that's in 235 organizations. Now, an additional $84 million is in an additional 176 organizations. And because I just printed this out, I'm going to go back and print out those 176 organizations to make sure they didn't double dip. So now this funding in these organizations also paid for housing. Now, I'll tell you what these organizations funds pay for. The Department of Veteran Affairs today, and this was August 27th, this one right here, 2025, announced more than $818 million in grants to 235 organizations across the country. So 235, 176. The money over here of the $818 million is going to be used for housing, number one, and housing counseling, health care, financial planning services, child care, legal assistance, and transportation. Well, now, all of this housing is through what's called SSVF, supportive services for veteran families. And it's more like a temporary, it could be 3 to 6 months to 9 to 12. They have to keep renewing that. It could be 12 months to 24, 36. I've seen it go up to 48 months with one organization and one family that I personally housed out of homelessness and then sold them a house 4 years later. So 3 months, I've seen 48 months. So that's this money. So this money could be used for transitional housing. It could be used for permanent housing with a stipulated matter of time. Now, if you are somebody who says, Evette, I want to do veterans housing, well, go ahead and get this book. It's Innovative Solutions, Housing Solutions, a guide to veteran shared living models. And in this book, I talk about homeless veterans, first of all, senior veterans, women veterans, justice-involved veterans, disabled veterans, veterans of domestic violence, and the LGBTQ+ community. So get this book. You want to attach yourself to government funding so you can help the community of homeless veterans get housed. Then get the book. I've got. Oh, let me grab all of my publications here. So this is the new encyclopedia for this education. Let me tell you the name of my book series. All of these books that you see right here, U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Guidebook Series. I wrote a book for realtors, just like myself, who say, I want to help homeless veterans and get a commission. You want to do veteran shared living, then get this book. You are a veteran and you say, I want to use my passion in business and start a business. This book will be out in maybe next month. Finding Home is for everybody in the community. Everybody in the community needs to get this book right here. You keep asking, what can the community do? What can I do? What can my neighbor do? Get this book to learn how to find resources in your own community for those veterans you say you care about. This book right here, a nationwide resource guide for supporting homeless veterans. I helped house a homeless veteran in Hawaii. It's on page 73. One moment, please. I'm passing Las Vegas and I'm getting over here to Hawaii. Hawaii. She received these resources and she said, Evette, there's a resource that you sent me in here that I was in contact with a year ago. I'm going to call them up. I said, please do. Call up every resource that I sent you so that you won't be homeless anymore. Because these resources, these organizations have received, this was last year though, these organizations have received this money. They need to use this money. So if there's no homeless veteran that you can help get attached to resources, then they'll just be a homeless veteran. So I suggest you're interested in learning how, you're interested in the community learning, get this book, Finding Home. All of my books are on Amazon. You say, I'm a nurse, Evette, I'm a CNA. I want to do more than just communal living. I want, so anyway, get this book, The Veteran Care Entrepreneurship Guide, because this helps you as that nurse or medical professional know what to do to be licensed. This book I wrote, this was the first one of the series that I wrote, and it's to help social workers, case managers, human care professionals, helping veterans transition from homelessness to stable housing. It baffles me, but it really doesn't, because it's not everybody's job to do. Veterans social workers have their specific job to do. And if it's not their job outside of a checklist and seeing if a veteran qualifies for HUD-VASH, then sometimes that's really all they know. They don't know about all these other organizations with all this funding because, look, they have a timeline. Their work from 8 to 4. They might have 30 homeless veterans on their caseload. They can only do so much. They can only do so much. However, what I teach them to do takes maybe 2 minutes. That's it. So that's in this book right here. Veterans, the Chicago Veterans Comprehensive Guide to Federal, State, Local Support. I'm looking for some sponsors so that at least 1,000 of these books can be given away free. So you'll have your information in this book. And then my workshop book. I used to do, I got a lot of books, and I'm not even finished. This is the book for veterans buying real estate guide for today's market. This is the 3rd edition. And then I've got the letter right. I got a lot of information. I've been doing this for 22 years. So you want to know what I know, you want to learn what I know, then go ahead and get the education. Let me put on my glasses so that I can read while we're waiting for Derek to let me know he's here. Let me see. How do I get over here to see? Oh, wow. You guys have been really blowing up my all right, let's see here. Rob Gorski, thank you. Great show today. Glad I tuned in live. So am I. And tell me your thoughts about this, and if there's any additional information that you would see. How do you see compliance rules changing next year? If I look, let me go ahead. Get in there. Okay, so this is my crystal ball, right? It's really not, so I don't know. I don't know. I wish, I could see in the future, but I can't. I can tell you about what's been happening for the past 22 years. It's only been the same. That's it. It's only been the same. More money pouring out in the community, more money pouring out in the community, and nobody knows how to use it. That's why we still have homeless veterans. Are there any new procurement programs we should watch for? As soon as Derek gets on, he can talk to you about that. How do you handle setbacks when housing projects get delayed? What? I don't. Because I don't work with how I don't even know that's more corporate side, because I'm not working on any housing projects that we're waiting for to be finished so that homeless veterans can move in. So that's I don't handle any setbacks with that because we're not doing that. I wish. Are there federal policies coming that might speed up how I'm working on that? Are there federal policies coming that might speed up housing efforts? I am working on that, and I'm teaching the community. I have a private group teaching the community to do the same. So policies need to be changed in the homeless veterans community, whereas homeless veterans don't have best credit. I was a homeless female veteran, and nobody's thinking about credit when you got to think about where you're going to sleep at night, where you're going to eat, where you're going to bathe, where you're going to go defecate. Who's thinking about any of that? So what I'm working with is whenever I get a homeless veteran, and I got a homeless veteran in today, oh my goodness, in Seattle, Washington. So Seattle is the new state that I'll be working with the homeless veteran in. So what happens with veterans who have HUD-VASH vouchers, those are your Section 8 vouchers specifically for veterans and their family. What is ridiculous. The policies that need to be changed in handling homeless veterans with resources, with the voucher, with this money that has been given to these grants and per diems that have been allocated to these organizations to pay for veterans housing. However, management companies and realtors want credit checks and background checks and employment verification, and why aren't you working anymore, and why did you leave where you left? This is a homeless veteran with resources who need to get housed. So the policies that I'm writing to these politicians in congressional letters is to let them know what these bottlenecks are and to offer suggestions, and not just in politics, but also where we are, where realtors are, with the National Association of Real Estate, with realtors, with local associations, with realtors themselves. As a realtor, I had the conversations with my investor to let them know this veteran has already been vetted. The veteran has already been vetted by his or her social worker, case manager, and on their checklist they say, okay, you passed everything on our checklist. You will qualify for a HUD-VASH voucher. Now I'm going to send you over to the federal government, to HUD at this time, and HUD has their own set of regulations. Now that this veteran has been approved by both federal guide organizations, by the VA, Veterans Administration, and HUD, Housing Urban Development. Those are two major checklists that realtors don't even have to worry about, because this veteran has been put through two rigorous systems to say that you qualify. That's a relief for a lot of veterans. Now they get into the community and try to talk to a real estate agent, and the real estate agent says, oh, well, you got to pay $65 for a credit check. And what we're looking for is a 675 credit score. Well, you can forget about paying the money, because I don't qualify based on just that. Well, just do it anyway, because you never know. So now you wasted this money. You don't qualify. And now you go see another real estate agent or another real estate company, and they want the same thing. Every apartment, condo, or house that you apply for that's listed by an agent, this is what they require. Well, I teach agents how to do it a whole totally different way, where none of that matters except getting this veteran housed, getting that landlord, that investor cash flow. And now you have housed the homeless veteran, the landlord is receiving cash flow, and this realtor has gotten a commission. Now this former homeless veteran is living somewhere. Now he or she can apply for a job, because now they have an address. They can go home and go to sleep, take a hot shower, get up the next day and go to work. Now they can go to school. They have some place to come and live after school, before school. So now they can get their lives back in order. And now you have a veteran who is rested enough to say, now I want to go through this vigorous process of applying for and going to all of my appointments for my service connection disability. This is what you do when you house a homeless veteran. Now we can get on our feet and live our lives, and we're not homeless anymore. Are there federal policies? Okay, so yes, what I just talked about, that long soliloquy. This is why I show up live every day. Great. I'm so glad you're here, Adventure Show. Thank you so much. I've got to come back and watch what you're doing over there. Thanks for answering live questions. Very valuable. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Then I'm going to come over here to TikTok to see if anybody is saying anything. So if you have a question, put it down. put it in the chat now, and then I'll come back over to you. Appreciate the real-time insights. Super helpful. And then we have, wow, today's wins are a big deal for veterans. Hey, Richard. Yes, it is. It really is a big day for veterans because today's win is an additional $84 million in $84 million in grants to 176 organizations tackling veteran homelessness across the United States of America. These grants will provide veterans with the assistance in landlord-tenant disputes to prevent eviction, support during child custody or custody proceedings, and guidance on estate planning. Ooh, that's a good one. The funding will also help veterans across access benefits such as state and federal compensation, as well as provide legal defense in criminal matters, including outstanding warrants, fines, and driver's license revocations. Case management funding will be awarded through VA grant and per diem program and will support roughly 100 case manager positions worldwide. According to the VA, these case managers will provide critical services such as helping veterans search for and secure housing, conducting home visits to monitor housing stability and determine additional support needs, and assisting with access to educational activities that promote personal independence and empowerment. That's what I just told you in that long soliloquy. And that's what this money pays for. The additional $84 million. Oh. All right. I don't see any, unless I'm missing something, but I don't see any questions over here on, I could turn this back around. I don't see any questions over here on TikTok. I want to thank you all for watching today. Oh my goodness, we have 328 people on live on, I don't even know where all y'all coming in from, because I'm on four platforms. I am on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. And I was hoping to have, oh, you know what? Let me show you all this. One moment, please. Something just happened, and I didn't even know. I'm going to turn this around. So I want y'all to see this video. Here
Evette
it is.
Jones, you and I had a great
just wonderful.
Holy moly. I mean, she is like, listen, if you guys don't know Evette, you guys should go follow her on LinkedIn. I hope we have her. I believe we do. I think we got our mentors organization on our resource database. You should go. She's doing amazing work, and she's like a one-woman.
If you had 50 Evettes, one in every state, this problem goes away.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the work she's doing. Unbelievable.
And I just want to thank the CEO, Jim Whalen of Mission Roll Call, and the COO, Ray Whitaker of Mission Roll Call. The work I do here in the homeless veterans community has been over 22 plus years. I was once a homeless female veteran myself from the Army. And I know what to do. I've been housing homeless veterans for the past 22 plus years and have housed over 5,000 of them. I've written so many programs and saved so many lives. I know, because they tell me all the time. I was the first life I saved. Then I went back, and I continue to go back, because veterans don't need to be homeless. And it's such a simple fix, as long as we all work together. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching. And thanks for that amazing recommendation. 1, 2, 3. Let me tell y'all what that 1, 2, 3 is, okay? that that 1, 2, 3, it's like the cord that ties everything in. You have an investor with the vacant property. What does this investor want to do with this property? They want to fill it, but how do they want to fill it? They want to fill it with the HUD-VASH voucher recipients. That's the Section 8 voucher that veterans receive. They want a veteran who might be who might receive funding from one of these organizations. That's money too. You can have a veteran who has money and rent your apartment, condo, or house. I've housed veterans who were homeless with 100% service connection disability from the VA, with Social Security on top of that, and had retired. So those are 3 checks, at least 3 checks. The retirement check, the 100% service connection, and the Social Security check. And the pension, wait, the retirement check is the pension. So 3, but I'm missing 1 check because I've housed a few realtors, not realtors, but veterans like that, including my husband. He retired 37 years from the Army and was unhoused. He doesn't like to say homeless because he was paying to be in a motel, which was short term. So that's another type of veteran. You have veterans who receive basic allowance for housing. That's your BAH. That's more money that they get that because they're in school still, or they're still in the military and they don't want to stay on base. That's a whole check that they receive that can pay the rent. Then you have veterans who don't receive a lot of money right now, because they have not gone through the processes of applying for benefits, because who's got time to do all of that? And I'm homeless. Again, a homeless veteran is day to day, hour by hour, minute by minute, just to survive the streets. So that veteran will walk into one of these offices or be able to apply. And you in the community, you say you worked with me, and now you say that I got your book. This is Innovative Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans, a guide to veteran shared living models. I got your book, which is in my bio. I've got your book, and I'm ready to house homeless veterans in transitional housing, in my housing model. Well, all of these organizations that receive this funding, they need you. They need that housing, and especially now when you have $818 million. And then Tuesday, an additional $84 million in grants. And in my private group over here on TikTok, you all are going to receive this link. I sent you a link that's going out tomorrow. I'm going to add this link in there too. So you got to keep this in your treasure chest. So when you buy my publication to do veteran shared housing, to do you are a social worker, case manager, whatever. You want to work in the veterans community, because nobody's asking you to do this for free. Nobody. As long as there's $818 million and an additional $84 million. And these organizations have to spend this money with somebody, because they don't own all the property in their city, in their catchment area. They do not, but they have to spend this money. So for those of you who say, Evette, I keep calling the social workers and they're not calling me back, Well, like I tell you, if it's not the social worker's job description to keep an eye out or keep a running list of homeless veterans, and then to help them get connected with these organizations, and then to see who they have on their list. If they have my book, then they will have a list. One moment, please. A contact list of service servicemen and women like yourselves with housing. Then they can pick up their book and say, okay, I've got somebody here in Delaware or wherever they are, if they want to go that far. If not, then you just calling a social worker or a case manager for no reason, because it's not their job. So you have to know where to go to get the money. Where do you go get the money? I've been successful as a realtor, as a six-figure real estate agent, real estate broker. And all I did was house homeless veterans. House homeless veterans, if they come to me and say that I have a HUD VASH voucher, okay. You got a what size bedroom? Okay. Now here's my list of all of these affordable units based on your voucher. Which one do you want? You pick one or two, go see one or two, is yours, because all of the investors on my list had already said yes. And I've got referral recommendation letters in all of my books. So at every book you receive, you will read some letters from property owners, investors, social service organizations, and these organizations had the money, and they still do. These are some investors right here who gave me their properties to rent. And in the back further, these are letters from the VA, from the social workers, because I know what these social workers did. I know when these social workers called me or emailed me, I knew what type of housing they needed, and I knew where to go get it. Now they're sending me veterans with funding. I'm a realtor, so I'm going to work with investors in the community who have vacant properties to say, hey, I've got a veteran and you have a 2-bedroom. I want to get that up off of you. I want to show this to a veteran. And if they say yes, I want to go ahead and send you over the paperwork so you can get that filled out, and we can get that into HUD, Section 8 HCV Housing Choice Voucher, get that RTA submitted, have your apartment, condo, or house inspected. Hopefully it passes on that first inspection. We'll go ahead and CHA or Housing Authority, they'll go ahead and do the background check on you, Mr. Investor. Just like they did on the veteran, they're going to check you out too. Hopefully you don't have spiders in your spider web or whatever, whatever the old saying is. So now you get checked out and you get approved. The inspection passes. Now they're going to go ahead and say, okay, how much is this apartment worth in this zip code? And how much are you asking for? And do they go together? Okay, yeah, they do go together. So now do you accept this rent offer that we're offering you? Oh yeah, I accept that rent offer because I always take it high, and they have to bring it down to where you want it. Sometimes it stays high. I'm real good like that. So now you accept the rent offer. Okay, they're going to send over the HAP contract. That's the Housing Authority Payment Contract for you to look over and sign. And your realtor, like myself, we're going to use that Housing Authority contract, and we're going to create a lease. We're going to have both of you, the owner and the tenant, the veteran, sign all of these disclosures: the lead-based paint disclosure, the radon disclosure, the whatever disclosures you have in your city that you're responsible for having everybody sign, along with who. Now, this is real important for realtors. And this is how I've been doing it for 22 years, because I do not go on the MLS to look for any properties for veterans with vouchers. You want to know why? because I can't hear anybody. But if you want to know why, I'm going to tell you anyway. Because they're already denied. Based on the description on the MLS, based on the requirement being a 6 woo credit score, 6 anything, forget about it. 3 times the amount of rent, simply because the realtor does not know how to calculate the rent portion according to how much they're supposed to be paying, according to their income. That's the 3 times. So whatever their income is, it should be 3 times the amount of their portion. So if their portion is $30, then the veteran's income should at least be $90. But what these realtors are doing, they're saying, okay, the rent is $1,200 and your income should be $3,600. Well, no, that's not what well, yes, it is. I've had that so many times. And before I just split my wig, I just told my veteran, come on, let's go. And I'll just go ahead and politely turn them in for income discrimination, because that voucher is the income that they need to be calculating for their rent. And thank you over here for the hearts on TikTok. Thank you so much. Over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, if you have not started to follow me, please do. And I come on here, I try to do 15 minutes, but it never works out that way. I'm always on here for about 45 minutes to an hour. On TikTok, I can sit up here with them for 3 or 4 hours because there's just so much to talk about in this homeless veterans community. I've been in this community now for 22 years. You can probably see, hold on, let me show you up here. I've got several awards, and this is just not, I can't bring them all up here. This is an award from the Main Street Organization of Realtors by the president. This is the President's Award for 2025. This is an award from the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs for 25 women leaders in Illinois in 2025. This is the Distinguished Community Leader Award by the Kappa, not the Kappa, but it's so heavy. Oh my God, but I got to read it. By the Omega Psi Phi Chi Lambda chapter. And this is for women of excellence in community service. And that's this year. And also, I received let me turn this around, and this is one of 2 of the proclamations that I received. This proclamation came from the Senator Michael Hastings for Women's Veterans Day. And this was 2022 when Women's Veterans Day was actually enacted. And they called my office to say, hey, Vet, who are the women veteran leaders in the community? So I'm like, oh, yeah, Cassandra Taylor of Top Flights. And I'm just naming off all these women veterans in my immediate community. Melissa Farmer Hill of Shiro Coffee Club. I'm just naming off, 2022. So I'm just naming off the women veteran leaders. And then this one right here, this just came, this isn't even out. They wrote an article about me in Women's World magazine, which will be out on the newsstand September 29th, 2025. And this is the article on page 52 that's in the Women's World magazine that's coming out. So I have housed veterans I was my first homeless veteran who I housed out of homelessness. I would go to the VA and they would just turn me away because they didn't know they didn't know what to do with a veteran who was currently at the time married to an actively serving Marine, and he was physically abusive. And that's me at 18 when I was in the Army. He was physically abusive and I kept leaving because I couldn't take that. It was just too much. Mentally, physically, emotionally, financial strain. It was horrible. And I'm young. I didn't have anybody to say, come on, Evette, let me help you. I'd never been in a situation like that before in my life. And as a veteran, I would go to the VA, and the same thing is happening today. And that's why I'm still in the community housing homeless veterans. And you show me a homeless veteran, I can show you how to house them. But right now I'm not doing that because everything is in my books. So that's how I show and tell. You pick up a book and you read these books so you can learn to do what I do in this community. Everything I do in this community, and I still have publications and trainings that are coming out because there's so much people can do. If you say, okay, I want to house homeless veterans, just get this book right here, A Guide to Veteran Shared Living Models. Get this book right here and read it, because this will give you a foundation. It'll get you in the door. It'll get you in business to receiving, to knowing where to go to start getting this money, this $818 million, and now this new $84 million. So this book will help you do that. So that's what it is. That's what it is. I took a class with the VA OSDBU, Office of Small Business Development Utilization. And this was my class right here. This was one class for about 6 weeks. And I still refer to this because this is education. And that's what I did with my publications. That's your education. So whatever it is you're asking me, it's in the book. And then you have to, once you read the books, and you use critical thinking. You use critical thinking after you read the books, because it'll put into perspective what's actually going on in the community. Great evening. Oh, let me come over here and read. I'm missing some. Hold on. Wins. This is somebody. What's one quick action we can take after today's show? Go to my bio and order some books so you can learn how to help veterans in your community. That's the real quick action. Good evening, Mummy. Please, I'm waiting for you live from Ghana. You're watching live from, yay, thank you. I've got, oh my God, I've got so many people in Ghana. I have a national line of publications that I wrote with, well, the first time I just wrote their I'll bring them, I'll start putting them on the platform, and they're to support the children in Ghana who are on those actual publications. My son, I've been taking care of him since he was 2. And now he's 14, and I actually got to see him when my husband and I traveled with the group to Ghana. And then we went to one of the largest slave trade communities in Ghana, in Anson Manso, and the community is still so poor. And we're coming in there in a bus of 29 people, and how many buses go through this land and get the treatment of education and how people, how our people were handled. I mean, it was mine. I mean, it just took me in another place in respecting who my ancestors were. And just how strong my ancestors were to get here, and I'm still here. So I told them that we need to do a collaboration. So we did a collaboration, and I published the book for Salaga, in the largest slave trade market in Ghana. So that book is on Amazon, and every sale goes back to the community to help the community in whatever way they need that help. Then another book, 2 books came out for Uganda. A young man was an orphan, and now he's got 50 children who he and 2 other people in the village take care of. And that book goes to help support them along with a You Fund Me. So, and then another book for Uganda on how the community in the village where they raise animals and they share that new animal with the next family, and then the next family and the next family, so everybody gets to eat. So that book, and it shows how they live. I mean, they're just so beautifully written. So yeah, go to my Amazon and you'll see those books as well. You know, and I don't talk about it much because I have a lot to talk about. And right now, what's most pressing is getting these homeless veterans housed in our communities where you can help here in America. So I was waiting for Derek to come on again. He said he was like running about 10 minutes behind, but I don't see him at all. So we may have to put the money man on tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. So how else did my day go today? Boots on the ground, man. I woke up this morning to an appointment. I had an 8:30 appointment with a young lady here in Chicago who at first said she wanted to sell the house and missed the appointment. So she had to reschedule. And then I read, I'm like, oh, now she wants to rent the house. Okay. So what do you really want to do? And then I introduced her to veteran shared housing models. And she said, oh, my cousin or someone was just talking about that. I'm interested in doing that. How do you do it? Okay, well, here's the link. Because with me, I can say it, but I try to consult people who said, Evette, I want to do veterans housing. Okay, here's a consultation, and this is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to send you the outline and the proposal, and we're going to walk you through that way. Oh, that was so much work. People just don't want to listen. And then I don't know, they, you know, in my experience in working as a consultant, they want you to hold their hand. I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you like this. You are an adult. You are an adult. You have gotten in this life so far. So what you need to do is read. That's it. Pick up some books and read. When these books become audibles, then buy the Audible. But right now, you want to learn to do anything in this homeless veterans community, buy a book. Buy a book, because I will not talk to anybody until they have gained some knowledge. And that knowledge comes in the form between these pages of the front cover and the back cover. Who am I? I'm glad I turned this over. My name is Evette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, Realtor, and Consultant. I've got about 14 certifications from the federal government, the state, and the local here to Chicago, just to say, oh, you put in all this work, and now you are a woman-owned small business, service-disabled veteran-owned small business, veteran-owned small business, minority business enterprise, women business enterprise. Oh, it's so many. African-American business enterprise. That's AABE. That's with SAM.gov. It's so many. I can't even remember all of them. BEPD, business enterprise, people with disabilities. That's a certification, because I'm a 90% service connected disabled veteran. So yeah, that's what I do. Those are the certifications. I've been housing homeless veterans for 22 consecutive years. Anything you want to learn, And thank you all so much for sticking around. I know I said 15 minutes. I've been on here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook and TikTok for 55 minutes. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. If there's anything you want to know, and get a book. Let me play. Did I play that for y'all already? Let me see if I have any more. Any questions, comments, concerns over here on TikTok? I just see so many hearts flying around. I just want to thank Bonnie. Thank you so much. You over there just tapping away. Did you get your book yet? Because y'all are going to receive an email tomorrow, and also the new email to where this $84 million is. So the 800, and I'm going to stay on TikTok so I can, actually, I can just stay on all medias. How about that for another 6 minutes, 5 minutes? So, here's another list. This is from year 2025, emergency and transitional housing providers. How do you get on this list? You want to house homeless veterans. This is from the Illinois Department of Human Services. So how do you get on the list like this? You're on a list like this, then somebody is paying. Somebody is paying. But they want to know who you are, because for transitional housing, that's $818 million. That's another, hold on, $84 million that just came out in the news Tuesday. So if you're on your list for your state, and they know you are a transitional housing provider, emergency and transitional housing provider, then they know you're ready to get paid to house some homeless people. In this case, homeless veterans, because that's what I do. I house homeless veterans, and I show you how to do the same through publications. You got to read, through mentorship in my private group, and then through education on videos when I start making those. So it's a lot of ways you can learn. But one thing I just don't do, I just don't keep talking. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm going to show you where the money is. And then you got to go get the book so you can learn where to get the money from. I want you all to, on YouTube, like, share, and hit that button that people talk about. Thank you. If you have no more questions, comments, or concerns over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, I still see 143 of y'all over here. If not, let me see if I missed any questions. How do you see? Oh, you know what? Compliance. Let me tell you, I write congressional letters, and these congressional letters go to senators. This letter here went to Senator Dick Durbin. Another letter went to Representative Janet Yang Rohr. And then another one went to Congressman Bill Foster, the mayor of Bolingbrook, Senator Meg Capel, Senator Tammy Duckworth, Senator Lauren Ellman, and all of those letters were just for one veteran family. Why do you write all those letters to all those politicians? They don't care. Well, they probably don't even know. They don't know why. They don't know why there are so many homeless veterans. They just don't know. People don't understand why there are so many homeless veterans. That's the problem. If you don't understand what the problem is, then you don't know how to fix it. And that's why I wrote all of these publications, to teach you how to fix it. And it's an easy fix for the realtors community. Stop doing credit checks. You already know if the homeless veteran has bad credit. Now you're dragging their credit through the mud even more. They've already been proven. That's a roadblock. These politicians may not know that. Did you know that? I tell people that, they're like, oh no, Evette, I didn't know. And now you say you have to make 3 times the amount of rent because you don't know how to calculate. That's a protected class. Income is a protected class. I know here in Illinois, I got to check and see if it's a protected class everywhere. But you want to say, oh, you have to make 3 times the amount of rent in order to qualify, but you have a HUD-VASH voucher. So you calculate the 3 times the amount of your tenant portion. So if your tenant portion is $30 a month, then you should be getting a $90 a month income. And now you qualify for that. But you disqualify because you don't have a 675 credit score. You're disqualified because you have a small background, because you've been homeless and you needed something to eat. You probably stole a sandwich. You had to use the bathroom somewhere. Now you got a case for flagrancy, disorderly, whatever they call it, for defecating in the alley because there's no open bathroom, or you can't use our bathroom. You're not a customer. You back, and I'm so glad the set down. So they're good people. I call you not mission to get and the over here place to we got to do a credit check. We have to do a background check. We have to do an employment check. We have to know why they left their last apartment or house or condo. All of those just disqualify a homeless veteran who just needs some place to live with a voucher. I housed a homeless female veteran and her 10-year-old daughter, and I'm going to get on her again because she really needs to do that video. But I housed a homeless female veteran and her 10-year-old daughter. I remember she was 10 because I said your daughter, and she looked like a little 10-year-old, can sleep in this little room that you call a hobbit door. When I woke up from my near-death experience after having COVID, well, I still had COVID, and I had a near-death experience, and I woke up, and she was over me praying. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm back here on earth with a former homeless female veteran who is now a doctor standing over me praying. Is that not God telling me, baby doll, daughter, you're not done. You still have to go through this journey in order to come out to tell everybody about it. I cannot make this up. I had a heart attack. I was, had all these probes on me, cuff and finger thing and heart things all over the place, on the back, everywhere, on the phone, in the hospital bed, talking to another realtor so we can go ahead and wrap up my client's offer. She was approved for $50,000. Now, if you know anything about real estate, you know you're not going to find a whole lot of move-in ready properties. But this was about 5 years ago, $50,000. Oh, but we did. But they wanted $53,000. I'm like, well, this is my negotiation while I'm in this hospital bed after having a heart attack. We can't do $50,000. Well, this is what we want to do. And this is the offer that I sent you. So I need you to explain this to your client, that this is what we need to do. And I said, will your client accept the letter? She said, sure. I don't know why not. Yeah, he'll accept the letter. So I told her to write a letter. Well, she was a really good letter writer. I'm so glad. And I wrote a letter too. So now we have 2 strong letters. This is a former, and wouldn't this be wonderful so you can tell this story that you helped a former homeless female veteran buy a house with a VA home loan, who is just giving up a HUD-VASH voucher because she doesn't need it anymore. So she's going literally from homeless to HUD-VASH to purchasing a house. And what we can do is $50,000, and we need her closing costs paid. So that was about maybe $1,700, because it's like 3.5%. She had no down payment because it's a VA loan. So now she's literally moving. Well, she moved into the house because they said yes to the offer. So she got the house, no money down. She didn't have to pay any closing costs. No money down, no closing costs. She got the house for $50,000, and I still got a commission as the buyer's agent. I mean, how simple is that? Well, that's what I do. I've been doing that for a number of years, from homeless through transition. And I do work with investors who have transitional housing. I helped 2 investors, 4, as a matter of fact. But the other 2, they went back to just regular renting. They're like, Evette, it's just too much. It's too much. Because it is a commitment. You're not just going to have a house with rooms and 6 to 10 to 12 people in that house, and you don't come over and manage things and care for the people. You can't just have a house and put them in beds and say, okay, see you later. Live your life. I'll see you next month to pick up my money. No. If you're working with me and you say that I want to do veterans homeless housing, I want to do veterans housing, and it is in a transitional facility or house, or you want to rent with their HUD-VASH, we're going to have a real good talk. And you're going to read so you can learn how to do this, because it's not for play. You're caring for people's lives, and these lives are veterans. And I don't play about my veteran community. We don't play about our veteran community. So if this is something you want to do, then I suggest you educate yourself. I didn't finish a thought either earlier. That I have a lot of people coming and saying, Evette, I want you to mentor me. I want to have a meeting. So first of all, I don't meet with anybody until you've read and you send me your questions that you have, and then you schedule an appointment to meet with me, and that's called a consultation, and you pay me to have that consultation. For those in my private group, I just reduced my consultation down from what it was down to $100. But for these, if you're not in my group, you buy a book and you say, I'll read 10 pages. It's not necessary that I'm in the group. I don't really know if I want it. I don't know. Whatever the case is, then your price is different, because I'm only working with serious people. Working with veterans is serious business. Again, I want to thank y'all for watching. And I am going to see if there are any more questions, comments. Let me see. Oh, thank you for all of those hearts. Hey, Thomas. Bonnie, you are on the Monday, honey. Thank you so much. That's you, the only one throwing hearts up. Is it that right? Let me see. Yeah, girl. You have one of those things with the finger. That is so cool. Thank you so much. 9,000. I'm almost at 10,000. Yeah, go on now. Y'all keep on. Help Bonnie out. Help Bonnie. Help Bonnie. Hey, KK. Welcome. I'm going to read yours tonight too to see how we can collaborate and put these veterans in housing. So you just got on. I've been talking about the $8.8 million that's already circulating in the homeless veterans community to pay for transitional housing and some permanent housing. 2 days ago, an additional $84 million was released in the veterans community. So it's a lot of money that can be used for veteran shared housing. And then we go more in depth, in detail when you are in the private group. I just want to thank y'all for being here. I got some things to do. I have a new mentor, and he has given me hey, Mel, welcome to the room. He has given me 4 assignments. And I'm, it's time to literally go nationwide known. I have been known in the Chicagoland area for 22 plus years. Everybody, I'll see all these awards, awards and proclamations. And that's one I have received 2 proclamations, one from the Senate and one from the state for my work in veterans housing, for work in the veterans community. Thank you so much for those tap. So we need help. We need professional help. And if you are here, you're serious about doing that, then I suggest you get serious about learning how to do this as a business and as somebody who really cares. It's a lot of money in this veterans community, housing homeless veterans for 22 years. And my colleagues are like, I was making more than some of my realtor colleagues, and they were selling. They had other jobs. I haven't had a job in over 20 years. I've been housing homeless veterans and getting commissions, a 6-figure income, housing homeless veterans as a realtor. Who does that? Me. And I teach you how to do it now. Oh, hold on. Oh, all right. All of these publications, pick 1, pick 2 is your new encyclopedia for veterans housing. All right. I done talked somebody's ears off. Thank you for being here. Let me play another video. What haven't I played? I am just enamored about, here's the shared living video. Hold on, let me play this for y'all. Flip the camera.
My book is now a top new release on Amazon in United States military veterans history. I'm Evette Jones Swanson, Army veteran and wife of retired Army Master Sergeant Stephen Swanson. It's my honor to keep serving our homeless veteran community. This guide is the blueprint for housing solutions, from homeless and senior veterans to women, disabled, justice-involved, and LGBTQ+ heroes. Order today on Amazon and be part of the movement. Together, we can make sure no veteran is left behind.
Yeah, for real. But you got to learn. You have to learn. You have to learn. I don't even look. Stop asking me anything. Don't ask me nothing until you pick up a book and read it. Nothing. I will be ghost to you if you ask me a question and you know where to go to buy the books and to get the knowledge. Don't ask me nothing. Nothing. I like working with serious people who say this is what I really 22 years. Man, I could tell y'all some stories of horror, of joy, of pain. I went through the fire to get here, and then through the flood, and then through the mud. I went through hell to get here and to fight. And it didn't even feel like I was fighting for myself. I've always been here to fight for other homeless veterans because I know how it is not to have somebody to fight for you. I was a female homeless veteran running away from a domestic violent husband. I had no out. I was young, 22. Who does that? I didn't know nothing. Not a damn thing. And I would go to the VA for help, and nobody had any resources for me. Nope. And they still do the same thing. I have veterans who are walked right back out the door homeless because the social workers, case managers, human care professionals, first responders, your nurses, your doctors, your clergy, nobody. If you don't qualify for HUD VASH, then you can hit the door. If you don't qualify if you go down to the CRRC, and this was the saddest place. I was at the CRRC. I was the first, when they first opened up the CRRC back in 2012, I believe. And it was bustling with homeless veterans because they heard Evette Jones was there. Left the CRRC over some stupid social worker talking some shit. But then I got picked up at the Forest Park Vet Center, and I stayed there for 13 years conducting veterans homeless housing and home buying and credit and investing and health and all types of workshops for 13 years. Then I went to all the other vet centers in the Chicagoland area, Chicago Vet Center, Evanston Vet Center, Chicago Heights Vet Center. I was at the Forest Park Vet Center for 13 years. All the city colleges, the federal prison, Cook County Corrections, the municipalities, homeless veterans, resources, housing, information, from homeless to home ownership. So you come to me. I'm telling you, you come to me and you ask me a question that I know that's in one of my publications or a couple of my publications. I'm going to tell you to go get the publication. I'm not answering that. You say you're serious about learning and want to work with homeless veterans in this community, then educate yourself. I put in a lot of work to put these publications together based on the information that I have gained over 22 plus years. You see what the senator gave me. You see what the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs gave me. You see what the Main Street Organization of Realtors gave me, and that's just a few. I've got 14 certifications from the federal government, from the state, from the city of Chicago, and you come to me with the question that I know that's in my publications, and you use your critical thinking. But you come to me and you ask me a question that's in one of those books, and you say, I got the book, and you ask me a question that clearly could be answered just by reading and educating yourself. I'm going to tell you to go do that. I'm not answering that question. I only work with serious people. I take what I do in this homeless veterans community very serious. 22 years, if I was still enlisted in the military, I could retire. Because all we needed 20 years to retire. I could retire. But I'm no longer in the military. Instead, I was raped out of the military. I hope I didn't get in trouble for saying that on TikTok. But I was a victim of military sexual trauma by the hands of my drill sergeant, or by the, of my drill sergeant. Then come home to meet an idiot, get married, because otherwise I would have been homeless after my daddy died and my mama moved to take care of my sister's 2 children. Oh, but she was a doctor anyway, so she needed my mama. I did too, though. I was homeless, me and my younger sister. So now I'm married into this horrible marriage. So now I go through military sexual trauma, domestic violence, homelessness, more domestic violence, more homelessness, that went on for a long time because I'm young. I didn't have a degree yet. I'm in school working on my degree, taking out loans and grants, because when I left the military, I didn't leave the military with benefits, even though they said your heart is bad, go get checked out. And the military said, oh, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. So now I'm a young female veteran with no benefits. No benefits whatsoever. So you ask, how do veterans become homeless? We don't have access to the resources. Didn't nobody take me by the hand. There was no Evette. My name is Evette, by the way. There was no Evette saying, hey, let me take you by the hand and help you find resources. That's what this book is right here, Finding Home. This helps you help those veterans find resources immediately. I've got several prompts in that book. I've got about 9 different states that I found resources for homeless veterans, and a lot of them got housed based on the resources that I shared with them. And this is what I teach you how to do. So you don't have to keep coming back to me talking about, Evette, I want to house homeless veterans. How do I do it? Get a book. Get 2, get 3. Get all of them so you can learn. You're serious about doing it. Get the library. It's in my bio over here on TikTok, and it's in my bio over here on these other 3 platforms. I've been on all this time. I just want to thank y'all for being here. Somebody is saying something. Let me see. I got to put my glasses on. Great. Oh, wow. I've been missing a lot. Oh, my goodness. I'm apologizing to you guys over here. It's 329 people over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. I want to thank y'all so much for being here. What partnerships have made the biggest impact in my work? Oh, my God, Todd, you probably just got here. That is an amazing question. What partnerships have made the biggest impact in your work? Those partnerships were with the investors and with the social service agencies and with the VA. All of the partnerships. The VA and the social service agencies, the SSVF grant recipients and grant per diem, all of those have been the greatest partnerships ever, because they called me and said, Evette, we have some homeless veterans that need to be housed. I got 22 homeless veterans housed in one day. In one day, when I was down at the CRRC here in Chicago. One day. And they're like, oh, you have too many people. They're crowding up the waiting area. These are all veterans. What are you talking about? If these other organizations in here would go out and present themselves to the veterans community, then perhaps the veterans will come in and sit down with them. They're coming in here now for housing. They're coming in here to apply for benefits. Oh, I'm going to send them over to the VSO who's here from another organization. If they need utilities before they move in, then I'm going to send them to that organization who's here at the CRRC. If they need legal, then I'm going to refer them over to legal here at the CRRC. But every time I would go down to the CRRC, oh, everybody's coming here to see Evette Jones, because everybody's homeless. Everybody needs housing. They need to relocate. So those have been the best partnerships. The VA, all the social service organizations and the SSVF organizations that receive the funding to pay for the housing of these homeless veterans, and all of my investors. Those three partnerships are what made my journey as a homeless housing realtor a success over all those years. Thanks for that. Good energy in today's stream. Keep it going. I most certainly will. Clive Root. What did I miss? Great respect for your decades of advocacy, true leadership. Thank you so much. Great job simplifying compliance for non-experts like me. Amy, I want you to become an expert. So go get the books so you can become an expert. And you know, for realtors, after realtors have finished, they go into my private group as well. But when realtors finish, they receive a certificate. And that certificate is in the book. And you can display that certificate as well. So, oh, wait a minute. Did I forget? Let me see. Any questions, comments, concerns over here? Firestone just got the number 2 gifter. Thanks, Firestone. Thank you. Lee Coy Cole joined. Thanks for joining, y'all. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. And also share. Maybe somebody else might want to know about housing homeless veterans and getting paid to do it, because nobody is asking you to do this for free. And I think that's the biggest misconception in my realtor community. They think I do this for free. No, I don't. I don't. I love my veteran community. I really do. I'm a veteran. I was a homeless female veteran, as you can see up here. That's me as an 18-year-old veteran. I mean, as an 18-year-old enlisted. So yeah, so I know how it is to be homeless. It sucks. And as a realtor, I just happen to be a realtor. And I found this community and I'm like, oh, homeless veterans, not on my watch. Not when I brought myself out of fire and the flood and the mud. You're not going to be homeless, because as a realtor, as an advocate, as a former homeless female veteran, and I know where the money is, I'm going to get you housed and I'm going to get paid doing it. You're going to get housed. You're going to take your butt to school. You're going to go get a job. You're going to apply for your service connection disability. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go to your appointments. I said that, but you're going to go to your groups twice a week or 3 times a week. You're going to do all of this while you work with the credit expert. You're going to do all of this at the same time, because once you're done doing that, homeless veteran, former homeless veteran, we're going to look and buy you a house with your VA loan. So you got to go through the fire, and we go right along with you. That's the same. Look, that's what I went through. But you see me now, housed over 5,000 homeless veterans in my career, and I'm not done. It didn't even scratch the surface. So I'm looking to, build a community of social workers, so you can be the rock star at the CRRC or in the Veterans Homeless Walk-in Department, with realtors, so you could get awards like this from the Main Street organization or whatever organization you're with. And also, it's another one, that Home Snap. They kept sending me awards. I'm like, what is this award for? Oh, I mean, this is what you do as a realtor. We move people. We move people. Where do they move? They move. Hold on. Where's that? They move into shared housing. They move into, one moment, please. They buy houses up to 4 units, from single family to 4 units. We move people. Veterans might be broke, but they're not down and out. I can tell you that. Not when veterans have access to resources, but all they have to know is, how do you go get it? How do you go about that? That's what this book is for. You got to know where the resources are before you can start applying, right? And that's what this book teaches you how to do. It teaches you how to find resources. Hold them up. In Akron, Ohio. Yeah, it does. In Akron, this veteran was relocating from out of the country. Out of the country. I think he was relocating from Europe. His sister told me. They did an interview on me, and she said, you do that, maybe you can help my brother. He's moving back to Akron with no resources. Oh, so I go to work. Akron, Ohio. Veterans Group Home. Akron, Ohio. Search for home health care contacts. Wants to do, it just goes into a lot of detail. Legal and regulatory requirements, funding and financial planning, because they wanted to do a lot. So they got a lot of information for him to receive funding, for him to have someplace to live. Put it that way. There's a lot of information in this book, and it teaches you how to help veterans find those resources. This is from Las Vegas, Nevada. This was a young veteran and his 2 or 3-year-old daughter, homeless. I sent him the resources. He was one of the first veterans who I met on TikTok. I sent him the resources, and he got housed with the resource list that I sent him. This works. You say you want to help homeless veterans, get this book and learn how. This is for Hawaii. I sent these resources to Hawaii. And people say, well, why can't they just go to the VA? Oh, they can, and get turned right back around, because there's no social worker or case manager right now who is equipped to even know how to do a search like this, or even know where to go do a search, or is it even in their job description to do. What? You have to follow your role. If your role isn't stepping out to say, oh, well, let me help you a little bit further because you don't qualify for HUD-VASH. So let me see if I can find somebody in the community who has veteran shared housing, and then refer you over to one of these organizations, one of these 235 organizations, or one of these 176 organizations, or all of them, to see who can pick you up as a homeless veteran and pay for your housing somewhere. That's where the money is. So I know this is a lot. This is brand new to a whole lot of people, because if it wasn't, we wouldn't have all these homeless veterans. So this female veteran, Marine in Hawaii, received these resources page after page in her email. And she said, Evette, there is a resource on the list that I was in contact with a year ago. I'm going to call them up. I said, that's a good idea. She called them up, and they said, hey, we have been looking for you for a whole year. You have been approved for an apartment, but we couldn't find you. And this was not just any apartment. This is another way of housing veterans, right? She didn't have a HUD-VASH voucher. She didn't have access to, this was the funding for last year. This right here was 3.2 billion on this list. She didn't have this funding. But what she did have was the phone number, the address, and all the contact information for the housing complex that said you were approved last year. And what type of housing did she go in? Remember, I said she didn't have a HUD-VASH. She didn't have SSVF funding. and she didn't have any money because she wasn't service connected. She didn't think she was disabled. And I'm like, listen, after we talked a few times, she said, okay, that I am going to see a VSO. Because you got to break it down. You know, we think we're so strong. We because we are survivors, we are protectors, and there's nothing wrong with us. That's not the case. So when she understood that, yes. So I gotta send her a message to find out how she's doing. But she went into this housing, and it was called a project-based. So she was approved for project-based housing. What that means is that unit is receiving the funding. So whoever goes into that unit, their rent is covered under that project-based voucher that stays on the apartment. It doesn't go. So when she gets herself together, or if she says, okay, I don't like this community anymore, I want to move. Well, you can't take this apartment with you. So if you move, you lose this funding, because the funding is on this apartment. Yeah. And you can stay there as long as you qualify. So I suggested to her, in order for you to continue to qualify, do what they say they want you to do. You have to be enrolled in school. Take your butt to school. It's a lot of colleges. When I was doing workshops at the city colleges, they had so many programs for veterans, programs where they can go to school and get paid while going to school. And that money is not counted as income. Go figure. And then when they graduate out of that program, they graduate into the career that they were in the program for. So let's say solar or ComEd or one of the electric companies. So they're in that program getting paid while they're in that program. And once they graduate into a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year job. We have so many benefits as a veteran. Oh my God. I am just, it doesn't matter what it is we need, we can get it. I get free glasses. We get free glasses. Go to the stand down veterans. Go to your stand down every year. You get a free pair of glasses. I got a beautiful pair of glasses last year from the stand down from Pearl Vision was there. These are my stand down glasses. Yes. Now, the only thing with these stand down glasses is they gave me a bifocal. These glasses are from 2 years ago, and I don't have a bifocal. I have 3 prescriptions, and these are from the VA too. So I don't pay for my eyewear. That's another thing. And then because my husband is 100% service connected, I get dental. I don't get all the dental that, I don't get, he's got gold teeth. I don't get that until I get to be 100%. We get the glasses, chiropractic. Oh my God. And then the chiropractor who I was going to see, they did a little massage afterwards, and that was covered by the VA. Physical therapy, acupuncture. We get a discount at the health club. We get shoes, prosthetics. I'm just thinking everything else I got. When my knee was bad, I got the knee brace. Oh my goodness. I had a stroke. I had a heart attack, COVID-19 pneumonia, and then a stroke. So I couldn't get up to go pee. So they send me Pampers, not Pampers, but pull-ups. They sent me a box of Pampers, and I'm like, I don't wear Pampers. I don't know how to put them on. We get everything. Car allowance, clothes allowance. I have a veteran who is in an electric wheelchair. They put a wheelchair lift on his van. He got a free van. He also got the wheelchair lift from the ground up to the porch so he can just wheelchair himself into the house that I rented them, a 7-bedroom house, him and his family, 10 children and his wife. They were living in an abandoned building in Chicago Heights. with the water hose that came through, got them housed in a 7-bedroom house on a voucher. And they stayed there until it was time for them to buy a house. And ran into a realtor who didn't know. And I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for some of these veterans working with some of these realtors who don't know and just don't care. You know, people just going out getting a commission. You're going to get a commission, and you're going to get a whole lot of commissions when you do things the right way. You just don't do something just to say, okay, now we're done. I got my commission. I've been in this community for 22 years, and I started the Veterans Homeless Housing workshops and the homeless. And when I stepped back from that, because I'm like, okay, this is enough, VA. Y'all got to take this over. I can't continue to do this. Is enough. So they took it over. And I would just walk around and meet everybody. I would meet other realtors and management companies. And I would say, hey, welcome. I didn't see you last year. I hope I see you again next year. Next year came is a whole new set of realtors, because people think housing homeless veterans is just a commission. When it's a relationship that you're building with this family. I've housed homeless veterans, then turned around and housed their children, and housed homeless veterans, and then turned around and sold them houses. Housed homeless veterans, and they had me sell their house here and help them find an agent wherever they were moving. A lot went to Texas. One of them went all the way up past New York in one of those little areas right there. I'm like, so I've housed homeless veterans, and they went some of everywhere. And realtors, when you learn how to house a homeless veteran, you'll never look back, because it's always it's a revolving door, and everybody's coming in and coming out, coming in and coming out, coming in and coming out. It never stops. I was working with not a lender, but an attorney. Bless his heart. He wouldn't do a buyer now for nothing. Oh my God, bless his heart. Attorney Mario Reed. If y'all don't know him, go meet him. Attorney Mario Reed. And I said, okay, I've got 3 attorneys. I always had to have 3 attorneys because I had so many buyers. And Mario said, well, I'm going to get into Attorney Reed. I'm going to start doing closings that you can send me the buyers. I sent him so many buyers, and it wasn't just him. I had 3 attorneys. So I think I sent him like 7 or 8 buyers in like 2 weeks. We're under contract, and I'm sending them to you. Here you go. Here, he told me, he said, Evette, stop, turn off the faucet, turn it off. This is enough. When I say it's enough to go around, it is enough to go around. I'm not gatekeeping. All I ask you to do, if you want to learn how to house a homeless veteran, get the books. Get the books. This is the new encyclopedia for homeless veterans housing. Go to my link, go to my bio, go to Amazon, and get the books. That's it. Get the books. What's today? Wednesday. I have homework. I want to thank y'all. I've been on here forever. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Your passion really shows this work matters so much. It truly does. Thanks, Todd. It really does. And I never came out publicly to talk about what I do in the homeless veterans community. I never had to. I never had to meet you. I never had to meet you. I never had to meet anybody here. You were nowhere in my mind that I have to come on here and talk to anybody. Everybody, all the veterans were referred to me, and they still are. They're referred. all the investors, their other investor friends told them about me, and they look. So I had everybody. I didn't have to come here and talk to anybody. The reason I am here now is because, first of all, God changed this route. And then COVID happened, and everything shut down, and I caught COVID, had a near-death experience, came home and had a stroke. So I wasn't working in this community, but they were still coming. I went back to work in this community. I went back to the CRRC and back to the Forest Park Vet Center and back to city colleges after this COVID-19 pneumonia and the stroke. And then other people started dropping off, falling off. And then we had a new administration in the White House, and all of these veterans and employees at the VA were getting fired, and they also let go the volunteers. And I was one of those volunteers who they said administration changed, and you can no longer come and conduct the veteran housing and home buying workshops. I'm like, well, who's going to do it? Who's going to get these veterans housed? They're still going to be homeless after I leave. Nobody thought about that. So now you think you're going to be blowing up my phone with these homeless veterans? This was one of my workshops right here at the VA. Right here. That was in 2024 when I went back. So when you buy these books, you'll see all this stuff, and it'll help you use your critical thinking as to what you can do in your community. I give you the blueprints. I don't hold nothing back. I can't take this to my grave. I was thinking about that the other day. I said, I thank God that I am able. This is one of the first workshops I ever did at the Vet Center. After they lied on me and said I stole $20 from a homeless veteran. I'm like, why would I do that? Who does that? Really? That's all you got? That's all you got? That's all you got? I stole $20 from a homeless veteran. Put it in writing so I can sue your ass for defamation of character. But it's okay, because I went to the Vet Center and I stayed there for 13 years and then went everywhere else. And then, let me see if it's in this book. And then I went in there just to say hi to them. And they were like, oh, Evette, where have you been? Oh, we have a lot of homeless veterans, and we would like for you to come back. And this is at the CRRC. I'm like, what? You didn't think you would still have homeless veterans, but you do, and don't nobody know how them? These were two right here. These were back in 2013, right? But I'm trying to find the last one that I did anyway, I can't find them now. But they're all up in this book, in all of these books. So yeah, I absolutely love this community because we have so many opportunities. We have a lot to work with. And when you have resources and you know how to access those resources, then things get better. This was my last workshop at the Vet Center, March 20th, 2025. Right here. This was the last one. Oh, I miss you. So this is in Forest Park Vet Center. So now I'm like, in my class with the VA Ozdaboo, hold on, let me grab this. This was my class with the VA Ozdaboo office for 5 or 6 weeks, for a long time. And they said, you have to be bold. You have to get out there. You have to tell people what you do. You have to show the government what you do. You have to send bids and proposals. I learned how to do, unsolicited proposals. Oh, I mean, this is just blowing my mind. And so great things are happening. And it's a great place to be because veterans have this money. They just don't know. They don't know how to use it, how to access it. So that's why I come on now to help you, since I'm no longer at the VA. But I've been doing this for 22 years at the VA. So now I come on live every day, 5 days a week, and then 6 times a week, because I do a 1 hour preview of one of my books, and we're doing a 1 hour preview of Finding Home. Tomorrow is the 3rd session, live right here. I can talk, y'all, and the reason I can talk a lot is because I've been doing this so much, and I don't have anybody else to talk to about it. So I come on here and talk to y'all about it. These are very practical steps, and anybody who can read a menu at a restaurant can read these books, and the plans are already spelled out for you. There's no guesswork. I couldn't leave any guesswork out because otherwise I would be doing you all a disservice. And I don't want to do a disservice to the veteran community, since you say you are here to serve in the veterans community. So I want to give you everything I got. That's why there are so many publications, because it's a lot to be had. So housing of a homeless veteran as a realtor, housing a homeless veteran as a social worker, case manager, human care professional, first responder, housing a homeless veteran in your shared living models as an entrepreneur, because ain't nobody asking you to do this for free. Helping veterans find resources so that they can get housed in transitional housing, and other resources so that they can get their care that they need mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and financially. All of that's in here. If you are, I'm a nurse, Evette. I'm a CNA, Evette. I've heard all of this. And I want to do a licensed home care. Well, this is your book right here. You are a veteran. You say, you know what? I'm tired of working a doggone job. I want to learn how to use my skills, my talents that God gave me, my passions to create a business. That's this book right here. Okay, what is this? Okay, the Chicago Veterans, A Comprehensive Guide to Federal, State, and Local Support. I'm looking for investors. I'm looking for sponsors for this book. I want to give out with you in this book as a sponsor, as a business owner who supports veterans here in the Chicagoland area, or you want them to come to your city, your state. You can pay for a whole page in this book. And it's going out for free to 500 to 1,000 to 5,000, however much is raised. If we get at least 10 investors, 10 business owners to want to sponsor a page in this book to advertise your business, then it'll be in this book. And these books are given away free on site to veterans who come to different workshops that I attend. And they can also be purchased online by others to support what I do in this homeless veterans community. Finally, when I was doing on-site veterans workshops, that's the sign-in book that the veterans signed when they came to my workshop. And I'm not even done. Y'all think this is done? No, it's so much to learn working in this homeless veterans community. That's why I can talk about it all day, helping veterans understand how to use their VA loans, understand how all of this go together with credit, with the down payment, if you're service connected, if you're not service connected, How does that look for your taxes if you are in a tax exempt state? Oh, it goes into so much detail, and also into investing. I belong to a huge investing community, and I'll start talking about that because I'm going back tomorrow. And this book, Mastering the Art of Proposal Letters, I used this book before I became a contractor to write proposal letters to agencies to bring me in to train. And they were writing me checks to bring me in to train. I got a grant through my old not-for-profit organization, 100 Pretty Purses for Female Veterans, to teach female veterans how to hula hoop. And I did that because that was one of my healing activities that I did after I had the heart attack, COVID-19, pneumonia, and the stroke. I started having fun like a girl again. So this book got me a little, almost close to $20,000 in 3 grants that I got. I won a $10,000 grant too. And then I think I got this book here, Brave Reflections. Brave Reflections. This is a journal for veterans in therapy, written by a veteran in therapy, me. So I put this journal together. I'm just going to show y'all the blank pages. This has the SMART goals, your key points, all the notes that you want to take. You know, these are my notes from my therapy sessions with cognitive behavior therapy, with the ACE. I forgot what ACE stood for. ACT. No, it was ACT, ACT. With my endocrinologist, with my psychiatrist, with my psychologist, with the pain clinic. Then I missed an appointment with pain clinic again. You know, so all of my notes I put in here, and I can go back and say, okay, these were my SMART goals. Okay, I did that. Well, why didn't I do that? What was going on with me that day? How did I feel that day? You know, so all of that goes in here. So everything I do is to care for this homeless veterans community because, listen, to be honest with you, to be real honest with you, I'm kind of jealous. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm kind of, maybe I shouldn't use that word. I don't know what word to use, but I wish I had somebody like me when I was going through those hard times of being a homeless, a battered and abused wife, running away and never having any place to go. I wish I had somebody like me. I do. So that's why I say I'm kind of jealous. But I am so happy for the homeless veterans and for the veterans community that have me, because I'm not going anywhere. God done took me, he done showed me where I'm going when I do leave. So right now I got to stay 10 toes down, boots on the ground, housing homeless veterans and teaching you and showing you how to do the same thing. This book right here, oh, I looked on Amazon and I'm like, what? Another number one. I think I had 5. No, I had 5. 1, 2. Wait. I've got a vegan book, plant-based book. So that's one that came out number 1 in plant-based. Then I had the housing. This book came out number 1. The second version. I think this one came out number 1 too. Then I had one of my two. Let me see. I think both of my African books for Ghana came out number 1. So that's 4. They did come out number 1, and then the Shared Housing Guide came out number 1 as well. So this came out number 1 on the veterans, U.S. veterans history, U.S. military veterans history. I'm like, oh my God. It came out number 1 and top. Wait, it came out number 1 and top new release in United States military veterans history. And this book right here is part of my series, which is U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Guidebook series, all published by my publishing company, VetMentors Publishing. Listen, I know I have talked somebody's ears off, but again, I have never, ever been in the community like this, sharing this much. And the reason I'm here sharing now is because I don't have anybody else to talk to. And GI, who was headed the group in the VA Ostabu, woman-owned small business, woman veteran-owned small business, Ostabu, VA Ostabu cohort, she said, be bold. You're not at the VA anymore, Evette. You're not there anymore. Be bold. Come and tell everybody, because everybody needs to know. You say you want to house homeless veterans, you want to work in the homeless veterans community, then let's do it. Let's go. Come on. Here. Hold on. Let me get all my babies. Let me get my babies. So y'all can adopt my babies. Listen, y'all can take them home. They don't cry. They don't need fed. They don't need to be walked. All they need to be is read. Sit your butt down in a nice chair and love on them. These books are so lovely. I'm telling you, it's so much love put in these books, because this is everything. This is literally everything that I wanted somebody to do for me when I was a homeless female veteran. Almost everything. I still have more coming out. But this is it. This is how you raise a child in this book. You want to work with homeless veterans, this is what you need to do that. I want to thank you again for being here. Please click like and share, and come back tomorrow. I won't be going live tomorrow because I got some great news. I'm so glad GI said be bold. I am so glad, because y'all never would have heard about me if I didn't come out and show my boldness in what I have to offer everybody in this homeless veterans community. What I do is nationwide. You can do it too. It's so much to go around. $818 million, and then $84 million, and then you have all of HUD Bash, and then you have another I think I got to find that one, 4.2 or $4.8 billion. All of these administrations, and I don't care who it is, people say, let me tell you something. People ask me all the time, do you like the president? Do you like our government? I don't like our president. Let me tell you, I liked every single president we've had. Every single president we've had since I've been doing veterans homeless housing. Every single one. You want to know why? And I can name each one, what they did each term. And our money was never messed with. Our resources was never messed with. People will say, oh, he's going to take away all the money. Let me tell y'all something. When former President Barack Obama was first elected, he reenacted the homeless housing bill, the Veterans Homeless Housing Bill number, whatever. It's in one of my books. And that bill opened up the floodgates for HUD Vash voucher for homeless veterans to come now and get housed. And then that was during the same time, 2008. Remember what was happening during 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. What was happening? I can't hear you, so I'm just going to tell you. Foreclosures. Everybody was foreclosing because everybody bought those properties too high and they couldn't afford them. These investors bought all of these multi-unit properties and rehabbed these to the 9s, to the 10s. I mean, they were rehab condo ready to be sold. Condo ready to be sold. But if all these properties were going into foreclosure, what are you going to do? If you have a multi-unit, and in order for you to save that multi-unit, you have to rent it out. When I tell you, I had 50% of South Shore, 50% of Inglewood, 50% of Bronzeville, 10% on the north side, and then all the suburbs, whoever was out there, I had them too. The west side, another 20% over on the west side. And then that started growing to like 25, 30%. And these are all vacant units. So at any given time, my list of vacant units was 7, 8, 9, 10 pages long, separated by location and then separated by unit size. And what were the amenities in these units? How much is the rent? Is there a security deposit or is there a non-refundable move-in fee? Who's paying the security deposit? Now I got to go to this list right here. If they have a HUD-VASH voucher, I go to this list right here because these social service agencies, SSVF agencies, got the money. They got $818 million. They got $84 million. So they have to spend this money on what? I can't hear you, so I'm going to say it anyway. Housing and housing counseling. Aren't we housing homeless veterans? So if I have a homeless veteran with the voucher, but they don't have a security deposit, who am I going to call? One of these agencies and say, hey, I got 5 homeless veterans and I got 5 more coming. You have the funding to pay for the security deposit or the non-refundable move-in fee because I need some referrals. Otherwise, I can't get them housed. What's the criteria? Okay, I got you. I'm going to remember that. Good. So now we got security deposit being paid. We have move-in fees being paid. Now this homeless veteran is using that HUD-VASH voucher this fast because I know who to call to say, where are we getting this money from for you to move in? Oh, your utilities aren't paid because you couldn't afford them. That's why you are homeless now. And that's part of your story, utilities. Oh, no worries. Who pays utilities in this town? What agency pays for utilities in this town? Let me call James Flagg of CETA. James, I'm having a workshop and I need you to come out. All the homeless veterans are coming out with vouchers so you can talk to them or whoever you're going to send, or you come and you always came. You come and you talk to them and let them know how to get those utilities, the back utilities paid so that they won't be, they can't rent with no utilities. That was another resource. I brought that resource to VA. Back in the day, 08, 09. Oh, you don't have a cell phone? Oh, don't worry about that. You know, cell phones are given out free to homeless people. I'm going to bring the cell phone company now to the VA. They need cell phones. Sit down right here and they're going to call you into this office and you're going to get your cell phone today. Oh, you need a bus pass? What agency gives out bus passes? All right, let me go ahead and call the VAC. That's the Veteran Assistance Commission. Hey, y'all need to come on down here to this workshop. We have homeless veterans and they need your services too. So come on, get them signed up in this resource fair. You have to know. If you want to house homeless veterans in this community, you have to know where to go. And all of my publications, they teach you, they give you all of this information. And now you have to start using it, using your critical thinking skills. Once you find out, is $818 million, what organizations are in my area? Let me give these organizations a call and find out how they're spending their money. And now I can go back and structure my short-term housing, my shared housing, transitional housing for veterans. I can do that now because now I know where my money's coming from. I don't have to go to the VA and beg and social workers to call me back because it's not their job. Just stop it. It's not their job. They know they have homeless veterans who they're seeing when they come in their office. but it's not their job to say, okay, let me get your name and number down. Let me remember who this person is who said they have veterans shared housing. Let me take 15 minutes out of my day, and I got another veteran in the hallway waiting for me. You have to know who your customer is. And that's not that social worker. The social worker, they don't have the money. These organizations do. So you want to learn to do what I do, read. Get this book. Get all of my books. It's the smorgasbord. Oh, yeah, you want to, once you get these books, you go into your community and start touching some homeless veterans, touch their lives. So you do those workshops. These are all my babies. I got to go. I'm going to do another recording tonight, and it'll be played tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thank y'all over here on TikTok. I got 21.6 thousand likes. Y'all over here jamming. And I want y'all to keep that same energy when you're housing these homeless veterans. You got your books? Did you get your books? If not, go to my bio and get the books. And you over here as well. Over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Man, let me play y'all out. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll just play a whole lot of videos. Wish I could put a video up from here. Let me turn y'all around so y'all can watch some more video assets. Flip camera. But by search in my mind. Let me play some assets that y'all might have forgotten about. Because we still have a homeless veteran in Charlottesville, VA, because the realtors down there are talking about, oh, you got to do a credit check. Oh, I don't care if you did or not, because really they have to, because if they don't have you do it, then they just discriminated against everybody else who did. So I teach realtors, you don't have to do all of that, for private investors. I had 40 unit buildings. These were private investors who owned thousands of units. I had master keys to go open any door. They would have 4,000 units. I had agents who I trained. I'm like, look, these veterans are coming in. Look, sign the keys out, go take them to the unit, come do the paperwork and get them. Come on, let's go. Shoot, don't play. What am I playing here?
A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not, but I would like to know how. The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be homeless if I did not house.
We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon.
Yeah, I sure do. That's in a realtor's blueprint. That book is already out. And then who else do we have? What else? Let me see. This is.
Hello. Good afternoon, Evette. Hey, we're doing a little cooking here. We're going to have some pork chops.
Pork chops
with mojo on it.
with the mojo on it.
And then we got some yellow rice.
The yellow rice.
That we will be warming up on the grill. And then we have sweet potatoes. which are good for diabetics.
Diabetical meal for your favorite little Sunday afternoon.
Yes. In other words, we're having a good meal today.
Oh my God. We need a shower too after all this.
That will be something tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight. I'm gonna take a shower out here.
I don't know if y'all saw the green tent in the back, but that's where sometimes they have to sleep. That's her caregiver who was talking in the background. That's Jose. They sleep in the tent. They sleep in the car. Sometimes they'll get, the money that they need to go to a motel. This was one of my former homeless.
So Carlos,
yes.
Tell us, how did you get here?
Well, I was technically homeless back in 2019, and I was searching for an apartment. I just moved here from Cleveland, had bad credit, just came out of a divorce. Bad credit, but I had money on me, and I kept getting turned down everywhere I went. So I went to the VA. I reached out to the VA social worker. She got me in touch with Evette. Same day, Evette got me in an apartment. Same day. And then 5 years later, I gave you a call to help me buy this place.
And this is a what?
This is a 3-unit building. Big boy building, 3 big spacious bedrooms.
So you're telling everybody you went from homeless to owning a multi-unit property in 5 years.
Correct.
A homeless Army veteran to now owning a multi-unit property.
Yes.
Living proof.
Living proof, owning my own business as well, owning my own franchise. Mac Tools franchise, call me.
So you went from homeless to investor to business owner as an Army veteran in 5 years.
Correct, in 5 years. Moved here in 2019 with my car and the clothes on my back.
Amazing. Amazing. I just love it. For real though, it feels like, how like a mama bird and all my former homeless veterans get to fly. I love it. There's one right there. She's shy though.
From homeless to investor to business owner. Okay, I like this one. This was when I was at the
I'm
VA.
standing here with Anthony. Hey guys, I'm standing here with Anthony. He's a veteran from what branch?
Army.
We're both Army. Who? And Anthony is a veteran who has been coming to our seminar since January. What have you learned so far, Anthony?
I learned a lot about how mortgage, how to get a loan, how to look out for different things like fraud, like sometimes when you're looking for a house or you looking for rent, it's always to make sure your security as well. So it's little things you can look out for to secure yourself as a renter or homeowner. Also learn about buying a house, how you can get a loan from the military that you don't have to pay back.
You don't have to pay it back.
If you use the HUD badge, the HUD, through the...
Oh, he was throwing me off. I'm like, that's what I was talking about. Sometimes the veterans don't know, oh, this one is real nice. I just picked this one up.
A local woman is bringing new meaning to the term boots on the ground. She's doing it by securing homes for fellow veterans.
Erin McElroy is here now with the story of another remarkable woman.
Yes, this is our third, and her story is pretty incredible. After serving in the Army, Evette Jones Swanson returned to Chicago without any place to live. For months, she slept in her car. Now, fast forward 3 decades later, this woman went from living on the streets to helping countless veterans like herself become homeowners. At 18, Evette Jones Swanson's picture joined the others on the mantle.
We chose to serve our nation
A family lineup beginning with her great uncle in World War II, all the way down to her own son in the Air Force.
This is my brother Walter.
It's a story of generational pride and also heartbreak.
I know what it's like not to have.
Like so many others who once wore a uniform with honor,
In formation, and this was in our barracks.
transitioning back to civilian life was harder than expected. Within that first year, Evette found herself unhoused and living on the streets.
I was homeless in my car, living on the sidewalk of Humboldt Park. It was cold out. And I had nowhere to go. So when I went to the VA for help, nobody was there to give me any resources. No social worker, no case manager, no RN nurse, nobody. Nobody.
Realizing she wasn't alone, that there were thousands of veterans in her same position.
The last count was a little over 77,000 veterans across the United States.
Was all the motivation Evette needed to put boots back on the ground. She went to work researching available loans and home ownership resources for vets. She wrote 3 books with step-by-step guides for fellow veterans to secure a home, along with leading hundreds of workshops at the Jesse Brown VA. Navy veteran Gabrielle Pickens met Evette at one of those workshops.
You could tell immediately how passionate she was and, just how excited she was to really share her stories.
Over the next 21 years, Evette worked tirelessly, connecting veterans with the resources they needed. And with each home she secured, Evette witnessed pride return to their face.
Congratulations!
If it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't be here where I am today. In my car, living in vans. Now I'm living in a home that is mine with my name on it.
Amazing.
Everything brand spanking new.
Amazing. I remember the day I got my keys. And the anxiety that I was living with, and the depression and the loneliness and the anger, is wiped away now. You can go home.
Dishwasher, refrigerator, microwave, everything is new.
I'm so happy for you.
Through her mission, Evette has guided more than 5,000 veterans from the throes of homelessness to the stability of home ownership.
They are not shy about letting the world know how Evette has helped change their life.
Though life had knocked her down, Evette rose up not just for herself, but for all her brothers and sisters in arms, with a clear mission that no veteran would ever need to sleep on the streets.
And I just continue to stay here to fight, for the next homeless veteran, because I know there is one.
Evette Jones Swanson, not only a remarkable woman, but a hero among all the comrades she continues to serve. And even though I cover stories of people doing good in their community pretty regularly, right? Every once in a while, I find myself just kind of in awe of the scope and the power of change that some of these individuals have made, and Evette Jones Swanson is one of them. She continues doing the work and then just changing multiple lives along the way. So if you'd like to know more, there's several links that she has. We're talking about workshops, links to some of these books that she's used to help some of these other veterans, and we'll embed all those with this story.
It gave me goosebumps. I can't believe there are that many veterans who serve this country for our freedom that are on the streets now and need help. Thank God she's there.
Yeah, it is really, really stunning when you look at those numbers, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's why I stay. Thank you all. 2 hours and 23 minutes running my mouth. Y'all could tell I don't be talking to nobody. I don't be talking to nobody. Oh my goodness, I done talked somebody's ears off. So that's what you get when you get me, and I don't talk this much usually. So strategies, that's what I normally like to do, strategy calls, but I'm like, I feel like I'm fresh. Thank y'all for watching.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guidebook series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Evette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.